Politicians on both sides of the aisle are quick to blame corporations for the current state of the economy. Talk of outsourcing and offshoring to save a buck and pad the coffers of rich multinational corporations is a rallying cry that is cyclical with election seasons. It is an emotional play to rally the base, a call to arms against globalism and its key practices. But what is the real concern of a global economy? Is there a magic bullet to cure all of our economic woes? The latest buzzword is reshoring, and supporters of reshoring claim that if corporations were to bring offshore jobs back within our borders, we would be able to reduce unemployment by over 5%. But things are never that simple. A global economy is complex, and there are many factors to consider. It's a delicate balancing act that only comes to light when you see the numbers. It's first important to define how outsourcing isn't the job-killing monster it is believed to be. In 2004, right in the middle of the recent US recession, there were 5,010 separate layoff events that led to over 993,000 workers losing their jobs. These layoffs were a result of many different causes. 33% were due to seasonal work, 15% were completed contracts, 11.5% slack work, 11% by cause of reorganization within the company, and 4% was the company's financial difficulty. In fact, only 7.3% of these layoffs were due to outsourcing, a total of just over 72.5 thousand jobs. That is a small one-year sample. But what about other countries? What are they sending over to the US? With insourcing, or other countries' companies outsourcing to the US, what kind of numbers do we see? Well, we know insourcing is directly responsible for 5.3 million US jobs. These are foreign multinational companies hiring US citizens. Add another 3.9 million in supply chain jobs for a total of 9.2 million foreign-created jobs inside the US. These foreign multinationals create $2 trillion towards the US GDP, which accounts for 14% of our total GDP. What about the manufacturing base? With 2/3 of our outsourced jobs related to manufacturing, are we losing our ability to make stuff? Right now, the 5 global manufacturing superpowers are China, Italy, Japan, Germany, and the US. Manufacturing is only responsible for 13% of the US GDP. This means that our economy is less dependent on the manufacturing sector. Compare that to China. 1/3 of their entire economy is dependent on the manufacturing industry. A huge difference between the two. Let's step back for a moment to see the big picture. Of all the outsourcing done by US companies, over 90% is to serve foreign demand and markets. The truth is that the US makes up only 5% of the world marketplace, and if these companies were only able to function within our borders, it would make business in other 95% of the world logistically impossible. These markets are responsible for $6 trillion. Compare that to the $1.5 trillion in exports, and you can tell just how important foreign markets are. Reshoring is a very patriotic thought, but there are more considerations that go into business decision making. Production costs, quality standards, supply chain, infrastructure, proximity to customer, time to market, access to raw materials, wages, worker skill set, political climate, taxes, local laws, and policy. With all of these considerations and more, patriotism alone does not drive business decisions, nor should they. While reshoring might reduce unemployment, but at what cost? It is also likely it would create a deficiency in supporting overseas markets, and that would most definitely hurt the bottom line for all US companies, causing even more layoffs. You see, there are global politics to consider in all of this. For the last 30 plus years, each candidate for president stated that American jobs are a priority, but each president supported free trade and in all cases expanded it, solidifying our now true global economy. This opened a revolving door for corporations to go build in other countries, and for other countries to invest in the US. You see, it's all a balancing act. We literally cannot afford to be isolationist in this new world economy. One thing that we all learned over the last decade is that we are all in this together, and the global economy is a complex system. By investing in other countries, we open new markets and new opportunities. There will always be busts, booms, and market corrections. There will always be politicians willing to play to our emotions. Just remember that anytime someone offers a simple solution to a complex problem, consider the source.